This is my favorite of all of these.
This is a scary one.
Oh my God. We could probably create a whole series on this one.
Yes.
And it's what our parents told us back in our day was, if you don't want it on a billboard, don't put it in writing or don't send it. But the rule is simply, the parental rule is don't send it.
Right.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about in the modern day era of digital, taking and or sending pictures, nudes, those types of things.
So what we should do is we should look at everybody and say, parents, if you have your children and you're watching this, make sure of any part of this they watch, it's this right here.
Right. This is the most important.
This is can't miss TV. This is can't miss anything, because this is real and it will screw your life up.
Not only legally, but I mean, you've got, the sextortion stuff. You've got, just situations where that's going to be ultimately turned around and used against somebody 20 years from now if they decide to run for governor.
We're talking about sexting.
Sexting.
We're talking about sexting. Don't sext.
And it's not even just, it's sexting, but it's also, evidence of anything that might be a criminal act or evidence of anything that might ultimately result in some type of civil suit where your nose is open to criminal or civil liability.
But let's talk about sexting, because let's be honest, none of us as parents want to believe that our kids are taking pictures of their naughty regions and sending them to other kids and receiving those in return. We don't want to. We don't believe our kids do it, but they all do it.
Sure. Nobody wants to believe it, but it's happening. We see it.
You're not immune from this.
Right.
You use the phrase sextortion.
Yes.
That is an awesome word. I thought I came up with that phrase. I really did.
You think you do a lot of things that you don't, though.
And you're right. I thought I came up with it, and then I was like, oh, that's a great phrase. We're going to blog that. And then I Googled it, and it already existed.
Yeah.
What is it?
So sextortion is the classic example of somebody sending somebody a message saying, we've got a picture of you, or getting you to send a picture of yourself to them, and then ultimately telling you you need to pay them in order for them to get rid of it.
This is so real. If kids are honest with their parents, if it's happening, and it's happening in our community, it's happening nationwide. It is scary.
Very scary.
The impact it has.
Very scary.
Because we've had cases that show it at its worst.
Yeah.
And what it is people will use social media. Criminals will use social media. They will use dating apps. They will use any way, and then contact kids, teenagers, and get them into that sexting conversation. And the minute they get a wiener picture, the minute they get a private picture, the minute they get anything that is compromising, they'll see how far they can push it. They'll even ask specifically for pictures of everything going on with a face. They want the face. Right?
They'll use that to get more pictures, and then it becomes money, and then where do you draw the line?
And then they flat out say, your life is over. I am going to ruin your life. There's times we've seen the messages, you might as well kill yourself.
Yeah, we've seen, and there's been stories where that's actually happened.
Correct. And these criminals are doing this to say, send me money, send it to this account, send it to that account. And if they get a good hook in somebody, what we found out is they will actually use that person as a go-between.
Yep.
So say I hook you, and I got you paying me, or you can't pay me. You don't have the money to pay me. Okay, what's your PayPal account info?
Yep.
They'll send the money to you. You then have to then transfer it to me. You're the go-between, and now you're looped into sextortion ring.
Right. It's scary because they're preying on the vulnerability of the the adolescence, and knowing that they want to fit in, they want to be popular, they don't want their image slighted or their family's image slighted, and so they're just sextorting them.
Well, let's be honest. At that age, everybody wants to see it.
Sure,
Right?
sure,
You
yeah.
want to see it. That's all you can think about when you're a 15-year-old dude. I can tell you that. And I'm guessing I don't know about the female perspective, but there probably is. And so when you start getting that reciprocation,
It's easy to give it back.
yeah. So what would you say? I mean, obviously, don't take the picture to begin with, but what are some things for people to look out for to avoid getting wrapped up into that type of situation?
I mean, number one is probably, number one biggest clue to me, if I was looking at this from an outsider that this is happening, is you get contacted from somebody you don't know out of the blue.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea if that's a real person or a fake account, but you got to stop and ask yourself, why is this person contacting me? It's probably not because they think you're stellar looking or, whatever.
Because your profile
Right.
picture is on point.
They found something that makes you vulnerable.
So the wolf would say, have you met this person in person?
Right.
Do you even know this person actually exists?
Yes.
If not, probably don't send those pictures.
Or even communicate
Don't
with them.
even.
Don't give them cell phone numbers and any of that stuff.
Account numbers.
Okay. Yep.
What else?
Well, we have, manipulation from pictures where, people ultimately are trying, I guess it's similar to sextortion, but they're trying to get something. Even if you know them, they're trying to get something out of you.
And this brings up a good point. So relationships. You're in a relationship with somebody. You're dating them. It's your boyfriend. It's your girlfriend. You're sending pictures back and forth, whatever it may be.
There's pictures of third base with you and your boyfriend or girlfriend,
You want to break up?
and your significant other, though, wants to leverage you into fourth base.
Yeah.
So they take the third base pictures and they threaten to send them out unless you go to fourth
We
base.
need to try fourth
Right.
base. Yeah, we need to try the grand slam.
Yep.
Whatever it may be.
Right, right.
That's
Or ending the relationship or even beginning a relationship. It's, oh, so-and-so sent me a picture of you. I'm going to send it to everybody unless you start dating me.
So what would be an important thing for people to understand? The fact that when you send a picture, when you send that digital image to somebody else, you lose what?
All control, number one, and then all expectation that it's going to be kept private.
It goes back to what our parents would tell us back in the day. If you don't want it on a billboard, don't say it.
The difference between this, though, and a billboard is you can make a billboard go away. You can't make something go away once you push send.
Once you push send, it is now outside of your control.
It's in everybody else's control and whatever they choose to do with it.
That's scary.
It's very scary.
That's super scary. But they told you it was deleted. It's gone, right?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, there's a digital footprint of everybody everywhere doing stuff all the time.
So wolf us up, though, on this, because this comes up, too, is, teenagers, young freshmen in college, juniors in high school, sophomores, seniors, that age group of, I'd say 14 to 20
Yeah.
can be,
We're even seeing it younger, though. I mean, it's scary how young some of this stuff we're seeing is.
it is. So, but the age of consent is one thing,
Right.
which is what? What is the age of consent? Like, what are we talking about when we're talking about age of consent?
When you're talking about sexual,
Yes.
so generally it's 16.
Okay, but what is that? What is it? It's the age at which somebody.
Can knowingly, legally, intelligently engage in sexual activity.
Okay, and so 13 and under in Iowa, any sex act, it doesn't matter with who, what age, is illegal.
Illegal.
After that, 14, 15, there has to be an age difference of less than 4 years.
Right.
I think it's less than 4 years. We'll be safe. It's less than 4 years. But then 16 on, there is no age differentiation
Right.
for consensual sexual interaction.
Correct.
What's the problem with 16 to 18?
I think it's 3-year gap, right?
It has to be under 4-year gap, but the 16 to 18 is photography, right?
Oh, yes.
What happens if there's a picture, a video, an image of somebody who is under 18 engaged in a sex act? What is that?
I'm following you. It can
Okay.
be considered child pornography or, minor.
It's kiddie porn.
It's kiddie porn, yeah.
Technically, it's kiddie porn.
Yeah. Yes, depiction of minors.
So when we have situations where there may be consensual sexual encounters taking place in person, completely legal, you film it, you take a picture, you send a picture of somebody under the age of 18.
You've just committed a crime, potentially.
Not potentially.
Well, yeah.
You committed a crime.
Yeah, if you got, but yes, yeah.
It's kiddie porn.
The wolf brain is
The
kicking.
wolf brain.
Yeah.
The wolf brain.
Yeah,
You're
yes,
defending people
yes,
already,
yes,
right?
yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. You're the wolf. You get contacted by somebody who says, police are at my door. My son is 19, his girlfriend's 17. Police want to look through his phone.
The answer is absolutely not.
Oh, come on. But we're supposed to cooperate with law enforcement. If we do what we're supposed to do, everything goes away. They'll understand their boyfriend, girlfriend. It was cool.
Let me modify my answer. Absolutely not right this minute.
What do you mean?
Well, number one is, it's baffling to me sometimes, and I understand that it's a belief that the general public has, and it's a belief that's been instilled to them through police, is that the police are there to help and you should cooperate with them. Well, when the police are coming, knocking on your door, asking to look through personal items, whether it's a cell phone or a purse or a car, bedroom, or whatever the case may be, they're not there to try to help you for the most part. They're there to try to find evidence to corroborate an allegation of a crime. So why should I facilitate you, Mr. Police Officer, in finding evidence to convict my 19-year-old son?
Wolf this up for me. What are you doing in this situation?
It's real simple. The answer is no, you're not going to get the phone. We're going to speak to an attorney, and then we're going to go in and we're going to talk to the attorney. The attorney's going to talk to my son without me being there and going to find out exactly what could be on that phone. At that point in time, we will decide if we want to talk to the police and give them the contents of our phone or not.
Now, as a parent, you're not going to say to the police, well, if there's nothing bad on the phone, we'll let you have it, right? You're just going to say, no, stop, no, and don't.
I need to know more about this.
Correct.
Yep.
Because you don't want to, I mean, we've seen it. Yeah, here's the phone, here's the passcode, have at it. And next thing you know,
You're looking at sex abuse charges, and the primary evidence against the person is what you voluntarily gave them.
well, sex abuse, or there's the Snapchats with the sexting going on, which then qualifies as, invasion of privacy.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of ways it can go.
Right. Exploitation of a minor
Right.
is the big one. I mean, it goes downhill real quick. So if, as a parent, if I'm contacted and law enforcement wants to search my kid's phone, or more importantly, the kids at college, right? They don't have their parents standing right behind them. Detective shows up. Hey, I'm Detective Smith. Give me your phone. I want to see your phone. What should that kid be doing?
No. I mean, no. I'm not.
You're going to tell the cops no. You're going to tell them no. I'm a 19-year-old kid. What am I supposed to do?
I'm going to tell them no.
Okay. Be firm on it.
Yeah, be firm in it. Be assertive. No.
That's your right.
Yep.
So you have an expectation of privacy in the contents of your phone. You don't have to let
Absolutely.
them search.
Absolutely. And, it's a different story if they come to you with a search warrant. At that point in time, you have to comply with the search warrant and give them the phone. But what you don't have to necessarily do is give them the passcode or your thumbprint or let them hold it up to your face to unlock the phone.
And that's a huge, great discussion later on. I mean, it's more in depth of passcodes are best.
Right.
Right, for your
Yep.
phone?
Absolutely.
Because they cannot, under current law, law enforcement cannot compel you to provide your passcode to your phone.
Yeah, there's kind of this is an evolving arena for litigation right now, and courts are a little bit all over the board, but it seems to be breaking down between whether you're required to give some numeric or alphanumeric passcode versus a thumbprint or your facial recognition or whatever. So passcodes, at least as it stands right now, are probably going to provide you the most protection.
Because fingerprints can get left in public anywhere. They can be said they're abandoned.
Right.
Facial recognition, they just hold up to your face.
Right.
But passcode your phone.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.